Ladies and gentlemen, this is Cynthia the Audio Belle back from Axpona 2023. I have a few videos to share with you guys, and in this one, I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about the future of Magnepan. At Axpona this year, I met two very sharp young men that will continue to carry the Magnepan torch as the old-timers die off. I interview one of those two young men in this video, and I'll soon be interviewing the other young man in another video that will be posted on my channel as well. For those of you who know Wendell Diller or know of him, he has become like a grandfather to me. In fact, I owe it to him that I've come as far as I have in meeting so many people in high-end audio. And yet he requires nothing in return but my success. In that sense, he has taken the role of a mentor, and Wendell is known to invest in younger people that are interested in learning, and he has a very philanthropic mindset. There are a few Wendell critics out there, but there are many who love him, like I do. But I think that there's something in this video for both the pro-Wendell and anti-Wendell parties. For those of you who are ready to see some fresh blood at Magnepan, I am happy to report that Magnepan actually has two young men working for them. Mick is the services manager, and Corey is the shipping manager. Mick and Corey are two of the youngest department managers at Magnepan, and Wendell pointed out to me that this is the first time in Magnepan's history that 5 department managers attended an audio show. Both of these young gentlemen are very driven, passionate, and are full of new ideas, which I find to be refreshing. If you've seen my under 40 dinner video from Rocky Mountain Audio Fest 2019, then you've already seen Corey. His dream at the time was to become a speaker designer. Now, 4 years later, I discover he's working at Magnepan and learning the ins and outs of their speaker design, while still doing DIY speaker creations at home. Now, before I get too far into the video, I think all of this deserves a bit of backstory. Jim Winey, the inventor of the first Magneplaner and the founder of Magnepan, had a vision. Sitting on the 11th row of Minnesota Orchestra Hall, what he found to be the sweet spot, he wanted to create something that would accurately reproduce what he heard in that 11th row. And he succeeded in doing so. Now, everyone that was young once knows that it takes a lifetime to really mature. I look back on the videos I did in my early 20s and I can't even watch them. The age-old thought that if you knew then what you know now. I had asked Wendell in an interview at the Texas Audio Roundup last year whether Magnepan was going to die.
You're asking two different questions. Where is the generational thing going, or is it where is Magnepan going? Which
Just
I
like
go
off-
get confused.
Just off the camera, is this Magnepan going to die?
He expressed his concerns to me this year about his age and who will help him continue Jim's legacy when the old people are dead and gone. This year at Axpona, I walked away from my chat with Mick with more confidence that Magnepan will live after all. I am very positive that Magnepan is in good hands with these two young men. But I have to remain unbiased and factual. Whether Jim Winey's torch is carried on to the next generation, well, only time will tell. I met Mick for the first time at Axpona this year. Eric from Magnepan Sales told me I had to meet Mick because he is so young and so full of life and great ideas. There were also all these Ask Mick buttons everywhere, and I had no idea why all these buttons existed to tell me to go ask Mick. So, of course, I had to make my way up to the Magnepan room to meet this young man. When I saw him for the first time, I had no idea what to think. He was wearing this really odd getup that consisted of a vintage blue suit with a ball cap and sneakers. When I saw him, I kind of had a double take in my head on whether I should really interview this guy. When we met him, I told him, "So Mick, I've been seeing all these Ask Mick buttons everywhere, and I came up here to ask you." He said, "What did you want to ask?" And I said, "I don't know, you tell me. The buttons say Ask Mick, so I came up here to ask you." He said he could answer any questions I have about parts, warranty, etc., etc. I asked him if he could answer a non-audio related question, and he said he could try. So, of course, I had to ask him the answer to life, and within a split second, he said 42. I told him that Eric recommended I interview him, and he asked me what all the interview would entail. I went on further to say, "Well, this is the pre-interview taking place right now to help me decide if I actually want to interview you or not." I got a smile out of his dad, Ken, who is the production manager at Magnepan. And at that point, I continued the fun by walking past Mick and telling him that I wanted him to show me all that Magnepan had to offer. Of course, I already know what Magnepan has to offer, but I didn't know how much Mick knew about me yet. And I got my press demo of the 3.7 eyes. This was the most unique demo that I had sat in for. Mick ran the show by coordinating a series of modern-age electronic dance music tracks with Corey to play for me. And then he proceeded to say,
"So this next song is my ode to Magnepans don't have bass. Enjoy."
It goes, 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 it goes. Sit in the dark and wonder how I'm fit to make the bottom fall to the wall, and they all fall down.
After listening to quite a few songs of his choice, which, funny enough, drove the old people out of the room,
Mission accomplished.
The music sucks. Proven at bass.
he asked me what I wanted to listen to. While I admit that these 3.7 eyes seem to be more poppy in the mid-bass than mine at home, I auditioned many songs to be disappointed by the lack of mid-bass these Maggies had. But I knew I was going to be disappointed in the bass response because this was not my first rodeo with Magnepan speakers. To give you an idea of my collection, so I was purposefully waiting for the opportunity to say this when a large crowd of people replaced empty seats behind me.
Okay, so I have a question.
We have an answer.
Where's the bass?
It is just the MG 3.7 eyes. That is all that's hooked up. There's no subwoofer, no tricks.
No, I mean, it's not bassy enough for me.
Oh, you did me dirty there.
No, I'm serious. Like, I think they're probably dropping off around 75. Do you guys have a way to measure it?
You're just used to booms from boxes.
I like this guy. We got a ringer in the room.
Now for what you've all been waiting for. Who is this Mick guy? And is this just his flamboyant personality? I myself was not too sure who exactly Mick was, not until the very end of the interview.
Stuff, but I don't know where to place it, I guess.
Well, we shall see.
'Cause it's like, there's a suit here, and then there's sneakers, and then there's a cap.
Yeah. Got to get dressed up and then dressed down. Yeah, I don't know. I like the hats. I don't like to have to do my hair. It's the short answer. Gotta wear hats.
This kind of like is your hair, basically.
Exactly.
We have a guy at work. We have a full-time job at a technology company. He digs the hats that have that same style and stuff. He gets them like from this specific company, and he's like happy. every time he gets a new hat. But
Does he like Magnepan? Because there could be a Magnepan hat in this style in it for him if he likes Magnepan.
a lot of people at work don't have funds for high-end audio, so it's kind of
Understandable,
just us.
which is nice because we're absolutely a value brand. Rogue and Magnepan in specific. Audio is an expensive hobby, but
So I just heard the 3.7s,
3.7 eyes.
the 3.7 eyes. You said that they had bass, but I didn't really think that they did. So I guess my first question, and before we get started, by the way, everybody, this is Cynthia the Audio Belle. This is Mick with Magnepan.
Magnepan
and
Mick.
He is Magnepans.
I'm the head of the service department.
And everybody asks him questions. There's actually buttons here that say Ask Mick. What do they ask you questions about?
If you have warranty questions, technical support, general service, parts, anything, I'm your guy. And if I'm not your guy, I probably know who is.
And he can also answer the question to the answer to life.
42.
So anyway, we were just discussing bass and how do Magnepans actually have bass or not? And to me, it's a no. To my husband Jeremy, it's a no. But this guy right here absolutely believes it.
So,
And
a soundbite that I've gotten a lot that I really like is there's no such thing as a subwoofer in real life. And so obviously it depends on the genre of music you're playing. It depends on your preferences. If you're a home theater individual, if you're a dedicated listening room individual, obviously audio is hugely subjective. But for the kinds of music that I like, for EDM, for my listening position and my listening preferences, I like what I would clarify as a real bass, not an augmented bass. And I think Magnepan speakers absolutely have that.
you're one of the only young people I've heard say that.
I like music.
Okay, so who did you get that from, by the way?
So I was in band and choir and musical theater all through my schooling, and I think that might have some impact on the way I like to enjoy music.
Well, it's very interesting, but I meant the comment.
Oh, shoot.
The comment about nothing in real life sounds like a subwoofer.
Shoot, I really wish I remember who it was. Someone that came into the Magnepan room and was talking about subwoofers and said, you don't need them. And I completely agree.
It wasn't an 80-year-old bald man that works
No,
for you guys.
no. No, just your average audio Joe.
Okay, because that's what Wendell says. He says the only thing that sounds like a subwoofer is a subwoofer.
Now, to be fair and to be clear, I feel that way in a musical setting. In a home theater setting, completely different story.
Slam effect.
Give me the
explosions.
subwoofer, give me the effects, give me the power, but those are two different purposes.
But have you ever liked a subwoofer integrated into two-channel?
Yes, absolutely. The first time I visited Mike Hotson's establishment, the Listening Room, he's got LRSs set up with rels, and it's really good. I'm not gonna lie, it's really good.
Okay, so what do you like better?
Just a brief interruption, esteemed viewers. As you may know, I'm Tom Martin, Chief Content Officer of The Absolute Sound. We have a new product. It's on the Substack platform, and we're going to do some interesting things with Substack. First of which is reader questions and answers. Each Monday, readers will submit questions. We'll pick the most interesting ones and we'll answer the questions on Friday. We'll also have early access to articles and special blogs that don't appear anywhere else. We hope you'll join us. It's only a cost of a cup of coffee per month. Just check on the screen or in the show notes below. Thanks, and now back to the show.
I guess it would depend on what and why and how I'm listening. If I need to clean my house, subwoofers, let's go. Let's get the energy. Let's do it. If I'm sitting in a chair and I want to relax, I don't need the subwoofers.
So do you have a carpeted room, or do you have a lot of treatment?
Yes, I have a cat, which I know, Magnepan owner that has a cat, dangerous. But as a result, I have a
You
lot.
say your cat is a carpet.
No, his cat tree, all carpeted, and there's a lot of that kind of stuff around my room,
Okay.
which works really, really well.
Okay,
But yeah, no,
that helps.
yeah, it helped a lot.
So I'm sure with like the carpet and room treatment and stuff that you don't really need a subwoofer necessarily, right?
No, and my personal system is 0.7s with Macintosh monoblock MC830s, so
Get those at your age.
I asked nicely. Let's go with that.
Okay, we'll leave it there. So how did you get into this in the first place? Like, when did you start working here, and what got you into high-end audio?
Yeah, I was hired at Magnepan got me into high-end audio, absolutely. I was hired in September of 2014. I wanted a different job, and there was an ad in the paper, and I showed up, and the next day I had a job. I applied to the sound testing position, and actually that day, the primary individual in subassembly put in her 2 weeks. So they said, nope, you're in subassembly. So I spent a year and a half creating all of our crossovers, and I was going to school for electrical engineering at the time. So it was a really great experience, kind of from the theoretical and practical, and that, you know, combined with my previous DJing experience and my later design work with engineering and architectural firms, just circled into this intense love of Magnepan speakers and high-end audio as a result.
So did you have them before you started working there? Or?
No, not at all. When I was DJing, I was a, JBL, Polk audio. I mean, Polk is great, don't get me wrong, but my DJ equipment wasn't high-end, it was loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and thus the Tiesto you were playing there. He really likes Tiesto, by the way. That's how I didn't know about it till he kind of got me into that stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Fantastic. So yeah, a lot of EDM, a lot of party music, a lot of club music, and so that's wormed its way in there. I like danceable stuff. I love like 16 and 8-bit video game soundtrack stuff, all that stuff. Just eat it up.
Yeah, we like video game soundtracks too. Well, what kind of video games?
I'm a big RPG guy. Mass Effect,
Okay.
hands down my favorite game series of all time, and the music in there is really, really good. So, sounds great on Magnepans too.
Of course it does. So, I guess I have another question that circulates around bass, but where would you say that these things cut off at?
So, there's a spec sheet floating around here somewhere. I think they are very powerful down to 80, and as you start trending downward towards 80, I mean, they play down to 35, but it's a nice slope down from 80. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. When we sound test them, they absolutely do, but, the closer to 0 you get, the intensely more power hungry they get. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That was a test, by the way,
Why?
because I just wanted to test your technical knowledge and give you a hard time about it.
You know what? Go right ahead. It can't be worse than the difficult customers that I deal with.
Yeah, I'm sure
Let's
you
say.
have a lot of them, especially like the ones that are hard-headed and they feel like everything should sound a certain way or this way.
Yeah.
Of course, you're gonna have like a conglomerate of different people at an audio show.
I'm blessed though. 90% of Magnepan customers are loyal and kind, and my only complaint of them is they just want to talk to me about how much they love the product. And I want to listen, it's great, but I want to assist other people too.
Yeah,
I love your
sometimes
system.
You just don't have time. You gotta,
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say that a lot of the people that like Magnepans are just
They are
diehard.
locked in. We have such a following, and thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it.
So how old are you, Mick?
I am 31. I will be 32 in July.
Okay. So that's pretty young in audiophile years. So, I mean, you have a pretty nice job. Is that your dad over there?
Yeah, Ken is the production manager, and so I get to work with my dad every day in the same office, and that is huge for me. We obviously we have our differences and spats and everything, but generally speaking, we get along great. Found out today, Nick, the production manager at Rogue, his mom also works there too. So they have
Really?
yeah. So there's a lot of family interest in these audio companies, which I love.
And they're showing the Magnepans with Rogue Electronics, by the way, just FYI.
Excellent combo. They sound great together.
So what does your dad do?
He's the production manager at Magnepan, so everything behind sales, aside from service, is all him, all his purview. and it is intense. I think we were something like 400 orders back ordered on day one for the LRS pluses, and it is, handling domestic and international. We're sending shipping crates to Audio Nord in Sweden, and yeah, there's a lot going on.
Okay. All right, random question. So tell the viewers about your outfit, because I mean, there's no way that you guys can't look at his outfit and think, "What the heck?" You gotta show his outfit. It's like a statement piece, you know. Here, I'll get out of the way so you can get a better camera view.
The shoes.
So one of the first things when I came to Magnepan was I asked, like, I'm a big hoodie guy, and I was like, hey, do you guys have hoodies? No. Why not? What do you have? We had some t-shirts, and that was about it. And so I've been pushing hard for more merch, partially just because I want to wear it.
Yeah.
And I love the idea of being flagrant with your branding. Not in an obnoxious way, but I like doubling down on the idea that Magnepan Blue and, the Magnepan M logo and...
Okay, so I was wondering about that.
Yeah, that's our original,
familiar.
Which is just based on the design of the timpani panels. Yeah.
Have you got to hear the timpanis since working there?
So...
You guys got any laying around?
The most proud achievement, and actually fellow YouTuber Mikey OCD HiFi did a video on this. We had a customer, Aaron Scott, that brought in his T4As, which is the best timpani model. It's the last timpani that was made. And we threw everything at them. Custom foil upgrades, completely redid the crossovers, capacitors, new fabric, just top to bottom redid them. And
I bet you guys are excited to get those in, just to have them.
they were wonderful, and they sounded so good. I almost didn't want to give them back.
How is the bass on the old one compared to the 3.7s?
So, even just by virtue of the surface area, there's 2 dedicated bass panels. The surface area is huge. There's actually more surface area than the 30.7s. Their bass response is phenomenal. Yeah, like I said, I didn't want to send them back. We had them in the sound room for a couple days, and we actually brought people from the floor up to, because a lot of people have heard our current model, but there's not that many people that's working there that have heard some of the older models like the timpanis, and so we brought up. Yeah, it was great, and we cycled people through it and just
have them go take a break and listen to Timpani Force.
Yeah, exactly, in the front sound room, and they were a treat to work on. They turned out really well. Aaron, shout out to you again. This is the 3rd time, I think. Seems particularly happy with the product. So if he's happy, I'm happy.
You guys have great customer service. You guys have always taken care of everybody that I've heard that sent in something to get refurbished or re-glued. I know I sent mine in to get refurbished and whatnot at one point. But did you like them better than the 37s, or did you like the 37s better?
So the 30.7s.
Personal opinion.
Yeah. I mean, as far as the warmth in the room, I'll take the timpanis every day of the week. Again, 6 panels, surface area. But the mid bass and bass driver on the 30.7 is a pusher driver. The efficiency is there. The total amplitude output is. Yeah, and they've got the 60.6-inch ribbon tweeters, whereas the T4s have the original wider 60s. So there's, the extreme highs on the 30s are definitely better. I would probably still take the timpanis, though.
Yeah,
if
I think
only
I would too, if I had the choice.
If only just because of the look. I think the look they're so cool. I want to bring them back. I want them, the T5s, the T7s, whatever it is. If I had my way, that's where we're going.
I got one last question for you.
Absolutely.
Okay, what are you most excited about?
In terms of?
It could be something upcoming in your job. It could be something that's going on right now, or just something that you're really excited to do at your job. I don't care what it is.
Oh, how do I pick? There's a lot. I've got a lot of irons in the fire. I guess the 2 things that come to mind immediately are getting part sales going online, streamlining that for customers so that if they want to talk to me, they can. If they don't, they already know what they want, they already know what they need. It's the third time they rewired it. They can just go online, order it. Easy peasy. That's definitely something that we've been aiming for over the last year. And then I've been rewriting all of the instructions and all the manuals one by one to kind of make them a little bit more cohesive. And after I get through that process, I would like to start creating a suite of videos that are, here's how you change a tweeter, here's how you change
Start like a social media thing?
Yeah, just
You guys totally need that because
completely agree.
there's just nothing going on Facebook or YouTube. You've got 2 videos on YouTube. I mean,
Yeah. Here's how you complete a strip and rewire. Here's how you change your grill covers. Yeah, all of that. I'm really excited to do that. The more we can support people, the better. It is my pride and my personal position in my professional role that we ought to support every Magnepan model, every Magnepan customer across the board globally. So yeah, you could say I'm kind of excited about that.
Well, that is exciting because, like, again, like I said, you guys need a social media presence. The website's archaic. I mean, there's just a lot of stuff that could be a little bit better about your online presence. So I'm glad that somebody's going to be doing
Completely agree. We launched the new website late 2021, 2022. We'll be adding to it. We're getting the older manuals uploaded and digitalized and, just trying to...
Good.
Yeah, absolutely. As much as I love when people call me and say, hey, can you send me out an MG2A manual? We've still got the original laminated ones. I can send you out a paper copy, but it would be nice if customers could just click and download it, for sure.
It's the new age stuff. They have to be able to. So
Completely agree.
Well, Mick, thank you for letting me interview you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the next generation of Magnepan right here.
I think the very end of the interview was my saving grace, that there actually is a future, and I feel like behind the facade, Mick really does care. And that's not common in this day and age with customer service and with young people. So what do you all think? Are you excited about the breath of fresh air this young man has to offer? And did this video give you a newly found hope for the future of this company? Really interested to hear what you think in the comments. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and ring the bell if you want to be notified when I release more videos, including the interview I'll be doing with Corey. This is Cynthia, the Audio Belle, signing out.